What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. Today we have the Manectric team. Once again, we got Manectric, Tapu Bulu, Incineroar, Gyarados, Latios, and Celesteela. Let's get started. But if you haven't checked out the previous episodes, I highly recommend doing so because, yeah, you should always. But yeah, so I think the previous few episodes I've been doing pretty well. But then I go on off camera and test this team because I'm trying to learn, because I'm thinking I was getting better, but apparently I'm not. So yeah, I still think this team is really difficult. I'm not exactly sure. I think it would have to go massive changes. I'm not sure. Like it could go through some massive changes. Like a few of my friends asked me about this team because they tried it out and they said it was really difficult to play, and I definitely agree. I think this team is definitely the hardest team that I've made for the series so far, and it's like the hardest one to play with. Not the hardest one to make, it was the hardest one to play with. As we got Nico from Japan, 1656. Love live, shoutouts. Oh geez, not this again. Terrakion, Whimsicott, Charizard, Aegislash, Tapu Koko, and Tapu Lele. Okay, beat up once again. Oh, I feel like it's Deja vu all over again, except it's a lot harder to deal with because Lele is annoying. I think Latios, Incineroar is always my lead here. It just does so well against my opponent's team in general. I think Coco's okay. I mean, not Coco. Manectric's okay. I definitely want Tapu Bulu, and I feel like Gyarados would be the most solid Pokemon because it's a Heat Wave switch-in. And because I'm leading both my Heat Wave switch-ins, right? I think Gyarados is the call. It's just weird. Do I want Gyarados? I could bring Celesteela here, but I don't know. Celesteela does really good here if it wasn't for the Tapu Koko. I feel like I would need a Charizard answer more, and Gyarados is a better Charizard answer because it can at least take one Heat Wave, but this is going to be a hard one. Like, Gengar was not as hard to deal with, obviously, because we had the threat of Scarf Psyshock just knocking it out. But, yeah. So, Whimsicott, Tapu Lele is really interesting on the same team just because Psychic Terrain prevents Prankster moves. And on this kind of team, you usually do have Prankster moves. So, it's Terrakion and Whimsicott leading. I feel like this is late Deja vu. We did not play this opponent, right? I don't know. But, okay, this is the problem because Psyshock again doesn't knock out Terrakion, so it's worthless going for a Psyshock into that slot. I'm just going to go for Psyshock Fake Out into the Whimsicott. I always go for Fake Out Psyshock into Whimsicott because Terrakion does not... It's the same file process as yesterday. I'm not sure if it's the same opponent. I don't know if this opponent knows how I play. I don't know if this Whimsicott has Protect, because it could definitely carry Protect on a Charizard team more than it does Gengar, because with Gengar, you kind of want Encore and Fake Tears guaranteed pretty much, because you want to be able to prepare the setups with Terrakion, where Gengar kind of needs that support with Fake Tears to get some really big knockouts. Charizard doesn't really have that problem, so I'm not sure. Terrakion's going to Protect here. Okay, so it looks like it's going to play out like how it did yesterday. Perfect. Get a Fake Out off. I did Psyshock the Whimsicott, right? Okay. I'm a bit tired today. I've been tired in all of my videos lately because I've been recording this late at night, and I've kind of burnt out of Pokemon, to be honest. I played this team a little bit before, and also I've been doing a lot of best threes to get ready for some tournaments. As I said, I will be competing in. Always Psyshock the Whimsicott. I don't know. You might go for Elastic Tailwind. I think Psyshock and Low Kick is fine. I wonder if close combat would knock out Incineroar, but I'm pretty sure you just Rock Slide anyway. Yeah, because it's Deja vu all over again. Alright, Psyshock gonna knock out Whimsicott. Picks up the knockout. Let's see, Terrakion Rock Slide. Yep. Don't flinch, so we can put you in that range of a Scarf Psyshock once again. Okay, nice. This is legit been the same 2 turns as the first game of the last episode, if anyone hasn't checked that out. Now it's going to be difficult because what's coming in? Coco? I'd assume Coco comes in. Tapu Lele. Well, I'm Scarfs. My opponent doesn't know that. Flare Blitz should be able to knock out Tapu Lele. Unless you're Specs, you shouldn't be able to knock out Incineroar. And I don't really need Latios for much if I get rid of these Pokemon. So I'm just going to Flare Blitz the Tapu Lele. If Terrakion protects though and like Lele goes for like Moonblast and the Latios, I guess that could be bad. I also don't know if this Timid Lele, and I don't remember Timid Lele outspeeds Latios. I know... Okay, nice. I didn't think you would protect it, to be honest, since you sent out Lele, I'm guessing your Scarf. That's my thought process, because I don't think you sent in Lele otherwise, to be honest. Moonblast's going to come out in a Latios, should pick up that knockout. I could have knocked out the Lele slot, but I feel like Flare Blitz should KO Tapu Lele, especially if it's like a non-bulky one, so let's see. Oh, are we really serious? It was that close. I go on to Gyarados here. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Charizard comes out. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. If it is Scarflele. If it's not Scarflele, we have problems. But, getting intimidated off. I think Terrakion would be Z-move, so I'm guessing Lele's Scarf on this team. I feel like my opponent just Heat Waves and goes for, like, Psychic. No, wait, you're locked into Moonblast, right? I guess we'll find out if you're Scarf right now. I don't want to take a Z-move either with Gyarados and risk it. I'd rather sack my Tapu Bulu, get in Incineroar, and then I can fake out the Lele and pick up the knockout if it's Scarf, if Tapu Bulu goes down. And I want to save Gyarados healthy right now, so... Charizard-wise going to Mega Evolve. Let's see if it's Scarf Lele. If you're Scarf Lele, you Moonblast here. If you're not... Oh, I also need Heat Wave to connect from my opponent. My opponent goes for Heat Wave because I really need Heat Wave to connect here. You should Moonblast Gyarados and Heat Wave. Maybe Flamethrower the Incineroar slot, but we'll see. Protect Gyarados. Yeah, your Scarf. Okay. Because there's no reason not to go for Psychic there. Heat Wave. Connect with Bulu, please. Nice. And you might be wondering, why do you want it to connect? It's because Bulu would have been dead weight otherwise. Because then it would be Lele plus Charizard against Bulu plus Gyarados. And then I don't have a way to outspeed the Lele and pick up the knockout. And then it gets heavy Moonblast damage on my Gyarados, which I definitely need here. So I'm going to go on Incineroar. Incineroar is going to be able to take one Heat Wave. I think it would take one Heat Wave at this range. And I just Dragon Dance up. And then I can Z-bounce the Charizard. So I'm just going to fake out the Lele and go for Dragon Dance. There's no reason not to. It's definitely Scarf Lele. We confirmed it. Fake out going to go out into the Tapu Lele slot. Picks up that knockout. Nice. So I get rid of the Tapu Lele. Dragon Dance going to come out. Boost my stats. Don't be some random HP Electric Charizard. Please. Just Heat Wave. Don't burn me either. As long as those factors don't happen, we should be good. Nice. I think I Waterfall into Supersonic Sky... How many turns of Sun are left? 3, yeah. Actually, do I Waterfall or do I go for Supersonic Sky Strike straight out? I think I actually just go for Supersonic Sky Strike right here, even if Charizard protects, because I get the chip damage to put in 2 Waterfall ranges. I guess it doesn't really matter the order, I think. But we'll see here. I'm just going to go fire off my Z move, to be honest. Because I feel like you would try to get as many Sun turns as possible here. So no Protect coming out. We are going to be able to get the Supersonic Sky Strike off. Going to be connecting with the Charizard and should be able to pick up the knockout, I would imagine. I mean, this is +1. This is +1 Gyarados, so let's see. Does it pick up the knockout? It does. Okay. That could have been really scary, especially my opponent just made one different... Like, obviously I made the same plays as the last video, and it luckily worked out because my opponent didn't want to risk like a Life Orb Latios, which is actually used to be a really common item on Latios back in 2015. Of course, Scarf Latios did win US Nationals in 2015 with Bennett Piercy, which is kind of where I drew the inspiration because like I wanted something that could outspeed like Scarf Landers and pick up the knockout because Scarf Landers was annoying to this team. Also, Mega Salamence switching to Charizard helps against rain. So yeah. This is what I like, and Latios has been putting in some work. Latios has definitely been putting in some work. But yeah, I still feel like this team does have a lot of troubles, though. And I will be explaining them probably in my team build, like my team analysis video, because I felt like this team was definitely the hardest team that I have to play with. I played with, and it just really struggles sometimes. Like it can be good. I think I've shown battles where this team can do really well, but I feel like there's a lot of cases where if I didn't practice at all with this team, like some teams I only have to practice for a few times on the for the series, and then I'm pretty much good to go. Maybe I'll do a warm battle before like I record or anything. But this team I had to play a lot off camera to understand, because it's that difficult. It's really difficult. This wasn't a team like, oh, let me just play and win some games. No, this team is really, really difficult. And obviously, like, I don't understand all my teams because I don't play as many games as I could with like my tournament teams. Tournament teams I will test immensely, but with like for the YouTube channel, I do few games, some practices, some fearing, and then I'm done. But this team has been a lot more. I think this team I played over 100 games, and I still don't understand it fully. Like, or I don't even think I'm close to understanding its full potential yet. So it's definitely one of the more difficult teams I feel like I've used on the series, and yeah, it's definitely the team that has got me the most losses. But it's always fun to experiment around. I feel like trial and error is something that I think I mentioned in my team building guide. If you haven't checked that out, like I've explained this in my team building guide. Trial and error. It's like, what's a good analogy? Like cooking a dish, like trying to invent a dish, right? A cooking dish. So, or making an invention, whatever. I'm just gonna go with the dish because I watched Shokugeki no Soma recently, so I'm gonna go with it. So if you expect the dish to be perfect right away, it's definitely not. You're gonna have failures. You're gonna have like dishes that taste bad. You have to like test a bunch of different recipes and see if they like, because you can't just go into cooking with no practical experience and say, oh, I'm gonna make an amazing tasting dish. No, you're not. Let's face it. It's probably gonna end up tasting bad most of the time. Unless you're really good at natural or you watch people cook a lot. But yeah, most cases you're not gonna do well. This team is definitely not a team that like I think anyone can just use and say, oh, it's amazing. You have to play a lot of games with this team. But enough about that. We got our next opponent. Wait, we faced this team before, didn't we? Tapacoco Salamence. Oh no, wait, no, there was a Clefairy of Stakataka. On that team, Persian, Stakataka, Mimikyu, and Snorlax. This looks like an auto loss. Remember how I said this team can struggle a lot? Mega Salamence is one of those. I'm gonna go Latios, Incineroar, Tapu Bulu, Gyarados. Go Celesteela. Celesteela also works. Manectric could also work. Kind of liking Manectric more than Gyarados, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. If I remember correctly, like I might have faced this opponent before. I feel like the characters are pretty much the same. And I think this person was the Clefairy over Sakataka, because it pretty much looks like the exact same team. And I feel like I recognize the username. So I think this person was the Dragonan's really bulky Salamence with no Protect. Wait, no, that was his Urkatry team, wasn't it? Oh, that was a different team. Well, yeah, it was Urkatry and Tapu Koko's lead. Okay. I'm not sure who you fake out, to be honest. One Gleam isn't going to knock out my Latios, but I need Latios, like, immensely for this game. I think you Gleam here. I'm not sure if you Thunderbolt my Incineroar right away, or you Gigavolt Havoc if you have it. I think your Z-move on the... You could throw off a Z-move. I think I'm just going to go on a Manectric, though. Do you fake out Latios? I could see fake out on the Latios. I think I'm just going to Flare Blitz to Coco and try to put in Scarf Psyshock range. If anything. Or, like, Scarf Volt Switch range. I mean, Volt Switch range from my Manectric. But I'm not in the best position here. Fake Out's going to come out into my Incineroar and the Gleam. Light screen. Oh no, it's this team. Oh no. It's dual screen with Snorlax, Mimikyu. That's really problematic. Okay. I'm gonna Volt Switch and Flare Blitz. I should have knocked off. I'm just gonna double target the Coco and get my Latios in, then I can Side Shock. There's so many things going wrong right now. But dual screen Coco, it's been a thing with like the Mimikyu Snorlax. Actually, no, it's more like a Snorlax Porygon 2 thing. Because you run dual screens, then you can't break through Porygon 2 or, what's it called? Snorlax. And then it can give you a lot. It can just dominate teams. Volt Switch still does a good amount because of electric terrain, which is nice. Adios. Oh man, if foul play is going on in Manectric or a parting shot, this is really bad, but I have to go in. Reflect is going to come out. What do you go with Persian? Parting shot? I think parting shot, right? Oh, just foul play. Oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, jeez. I should have went Bulu. But I didn't want to give my opponent a free switch in a... Oh, we got a crit. That was lucky. But I didn't want to give my opponent a chance where... I just didn't want to give my opponent a chance to, like, set up with Salamence. If my opponent does have Salamence. Okay, it's Mimikyu. Snorlax is definitely in the back. That's the only thing I can see. Okay. I don't know if you partner shot right here. I'm going to go into Bulu, though. I think I knock off the Persian slot. Because I think parting shot comes out into Persian. You trick room with Mimikyu here. That's what I'm saying right here. Like, this is a really tough matchup. Oh, my opponent's playing really good mind games with me. I'm too worried about the Ments. And my opponent didn't even bring Ments. I wish I had Brick Break on Incineroar. That would be clutch right here. My opponent just going to fire off a foul play? Oh, I mean, it makes sense. It gets rid. That still does a lot. It's Zemu Mimikyu. Oh, it's... Let's snuggle forever. Does that knock out Incineroar? You're talking about Incineroar, right? Oh, jeez. This is not looking good. Let's snuggle forever. Yeah, it's Incineroar. That actually, with how Incineroar is in the forest, it actually looks really cool. Okay. Okay, I'm glad I didn't knock out the Mimikyu because it didn't change anything like item-wise. Oh, wait. I didn't realize I was that low on health. That's so bad. That's so bad. Alright, your last Pokemon I think has to be Snorlax. Because I don't think you bring this mode unless you have Snorlax in the back. So Latios is looking like dead weight here. Like overall, this game doesn't look good in my favor no matter what I do. Play rough plus foul play is also going to hurt Bulu quite a bit. Luckily you're -1, but still, I'm going to Hornleech the Mimikyu and Volt Switch here. Get in Latios. Latios doesn't do much anyway. Yeah, this is really tough. I honestly am... It's really hard to maneuver around this. So I get a Volt Switch off into Mimikyu. Breaks its disguise. And I got the Intimidate off into Mimikyu. So I need to sack Latios here, get Manectric in again. It's still really difficult to win this game, isn't it? Because Snorlax just breaks through my team. Especially if yeah. No, it's foul play into Bulu. I'm faster than Mimikyu, or it went for Trick Room here. That's good amount. That Hornleech did a really good amount. It just went for play ref, okay. He's slow, Mimikyu. Okay. That actually really helps. Because I'm stalling out this terrain. Yeah, I'm stalling out this terrain, which is... not terrain, the screens. How many turns of screens does he have left? Because he's dual screen. 4 more turns of light screen, okay. I think I just Psyshock Mimikyu and Hornleech the Persian. I might be locked in for Hornleech for the rest of the game, though. Now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't even look good. It doesn't even look good for me. Oh, unless he parting shot. Because now I can switch. Okay. Snorlax is 100% coming in. If it's Ments, I actually don't feel bad about my position, but yeah, it's Snorlax. Like, it had to be Snorlax in the back if you're bringing Persian plus Mimikyu. Hornleech into the Snorlax. That still did a really solid amount, not gonna lie. That still did a really solid amount. I go out into my Manectric here. I think you fake out Bulu and return the Latios? I think Manectric's pretty solid here. I guess Psyshock off into Snorlax, I think. I just can't find a way to break through the Snorlax. And yeah, Light Screen has 3 more turns. Reflect means has 4 more turns. It's going to be really, really hard to break through that Snorlax. It's immensely hard to break through that Snorlax. But luckily my opponent's not in a good position to belly drum yet. Although if you belly drum up here, I guess it depends on what you do here. If you belly drum up, I think, like, if you KO Latios, I'm in a good position with my Bulu plus Manectric. We'll see. No fake out. Oh, foul play again? In a Latios? Okay, that works. Okay. And belly drum. Oh, that's perfect. Does Bandit superpower knock out Snorlax? I'm trying to think. I don't think it does by itself. How much was... Wait, was I -1? I think I banned its superpower. The question is, does Snorlax have Protect? If it doesn't, I just do really well with... I'm not sure if it has Protect. That's the one thing. Because I could Volt Switch superpower into that slot. But he could Protect Parting Shot again. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to hope it KOs. He doesn't Protect. He doesn't Protect. Okay, get Snorlax. Oh, that was like another option. Oh, yeah, that's game. Really well played from my opponent. I forgot Quash was like another option my opponent had. I wasn't sure if it was Quash or Tom for the last move. My opponent saving that toward the end though. Really smart. There wasn't anything I can do after that. Yeah, and I can't do anything. Manectric can't pick up a KO here. I guess I can gauge how much Volt Switch does to Persian since I'm a bit curious. But yeah, that was really solid for my opponent. Volt Switch. Okay, it does like... Wow, that really doesn't do much. Foul play into Manectric and return gonna come out. Oh, man. I got destroyed. So I needed to bring Latios for Salamence, but it just ended up not doing anything important. Maybe I could have Draco Meteor to Persian. I don't think Draco Meteor knocks out Persian one hit though. Even with Modest Nature, I just don't feel like it does, since most Persians run like specially defensive, and that definitely has some special defense investment. Quite a bit. Oh, was there much I can do there? Maybe I didn't lock myself in a Hornleech, but I feel like I needed to lock myself in a Hornleech because I need the recovery from earlier in the game. Yeah, I can't really see much of a way, like how I can break through that. Well, maybe even if I switched down like maybe Manectric instead of whatever I did, and then let Incineroar take the what's it called? Let Snuggle Forever. I mean, I would have still been really weakened, and I don't think Incineroar could have done much in the rest of the game anyway. So no matter what, I don't feel like I could have been put in a really good position. That was just that was just one really tough matchup. But my opponent definitely capitalizing, brought basically really good Pokemon. I was just too worried about the Ments the entire time because of like the similar team we faced earlier, but instead opting for the Snorlax and not even bringing the Salamence mode, and pretty much playing the position where he needed to. Really smartly played. But we got our last opponent, Cresselia, Aegislash, Tyranitar, Landorus, Whimsicott, Charizard. Didn't we face this team earlier? I feel like I have. I don't know if it was on or off camera though. I feel like I have faced his opponent though, which is strange because I remember the order of the Pokemon. feel like it's Latios, Incineroar. I think it's Latios, Incineroar, Gyarados, Bulu. Because Latios threatens the... Well, pretty much Incineroar threatens Tyranitar, Cresselia, and Aegislash. All Pokemon that threaten the Latios, and Latios threatens pretty much everything else. I don't know, maybe Bulu wasn't the right call, but I feel like Bulu's great for like a terrain switch in case I don't want to switch into like rock slides from my opponent with Gyarados. I mean, Manectric could have been good in this matchup, but it's kind of weird. If I had HP Ice, I would, but I don't have HP Ice, so Landis would be harder to deal with. So that's why I think Manectric would have been solid if I just had like HP Ice for the Landers. But since it doesn't handle Landers well, I don't feel like it's worth bringing it back. Everyone doing the Giovanni pose. I feel like I said that so many times, but it's true. Like, everyone does it. Alright, Cresselia, Charizard. So I lead Latios plus Incineroar. I don't know if it's Icy Wind coming out. I feel like just fake out Psyshock is pretty solid here. Psyshock, I think, to a kid's Charizard. I could see Charizard switching on a Tyranitar, which would be a really solid play. But then I can threaten the knockout to Tyranitar the following turn with low kick, so I don't feel like that would be too bad for me. So I feel like fake out Psyshock is just a no drawback play. Psyshock will probably 2KO the Charizard anyway. And I kind of want to make a read next turn, but I don't know if it's going to work out for me. Charizard's going to withdraw. Is that Tyranitar? Yes, smart. Man, there's also like a thought in my head, like, I want to low kick the Tyranitar, like the Charizard slot, but I didn't think it would be good turn one if like Charizard just went for the attack there. So Psyshock into Tyranitar, that's fine. Now I can bring out Gyarados and low kick, I feel like. Yeah. I get Intimidate off. I might be taking a lot of rock slides, but I think that's alright for now. I could also go into Bulu similarly. I don't know if you're Icy Winding here though. I'm going to go into Gyarados and low kick because I just want to... Yeah, I think low kick the Tyranitar is safe. It's just safe because I would get the KO. And I get Gyarados in for Intimidate, so if Tyranitar protects, I got an Intimidate off and I can switch hard out with my Gyarados. So no matter what, I feel like this is alright here. So let's see what my opponent's going to do. Just Rock Slide, okay. As long as this doesn't flinch Incineroar, we're good. We take that decently well. Nice. Okay, Tyranitar's gone. One big threat to my Latios is out of the way, and Cresselia, Icy Wind, Trick Room. Okay, so I think my opponent was planning to sweep with Tyranitar, but I kind of foiled that plan there. Okay. Really nice, especially since Landers should be threatened by my Gyarados, since this is slow Gyarados. Let's see what comes out here. Aegislash, I have Flare, but it's Sacred Sword, Aegislash, which is really rare, but like some people still run Sacred Sword, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I mean, I guess I would. But we'll see here. It could be Sacred Sword Aegislash. It's Aegislash coming out. I do just want to go for... I wonder if Helping Hand Never Ending Nightmare knocks out Incineroar, but... I'm saving Gyarados for sure, since Gyarados can still be useful. I think I just go for the knockoff into Aegislash. I'm not sure how fast this Aegislash is, but we'll see. I want to save Gyarados because Gyarados can do more work, and Bulu's not really that helpful right now, other than doing massive damage to Cresselia here. So we'll see what comes out. It's going to be the offensive, no Z move. It's just Sacred Sword I'm really worrying about, man. It does have it. Oh, no. Please KO. It should. It's Blade Form. Oh! Oh, man. Ice Beam into Bulu. Okay. That does a lot more than... Oh, come on. It's not the worst, but that's just annoying. Because I could have just Stone Edged the Charizard and doubled it up. Oh, this could be bad. I think I gotta go Latios first. Because if I go Gyarados and lose it, I can't beat Cresselia, I think, if it gets weakened. This is really bad. I'm still not in the best position. I don't know if Supersonic Sky Strike knocks out Charizard in one hit, but since it's bulky, I doubt it. I'm gonna Stone Edge and Psyshock. Yeah. I need to put Charizard in range of Supersonic Sky Strike, potentially. We're gonna see the Mega Evolution here. Okay, I'm hoping my opponent actually just Ice Beams the Latios. I unfall and hit Stone Edge, but that's so unlikely here. I could have also Woodhammer Cresselia and picked up the knockout, which would have been alright too, I guess. Ice Beam in the Latios. Okay, Bulu, unfall, and you get Stone Edge off. Oh. Heat Wave, I mean Latios should survive one. Okay. Still in this, but it's not looking that great. I do get Psyshock off, which should do half, I think. Maybe I should Thunderbolt. I should lock myself in the Thunderbolt. Oh, Waterfall might be able to pick up the knockout. Alright, Gyarados. Still not sure how to beat the Cresselia. How many turns of Trigger am I left? I believe 2 more. Alright, I feel like I can still win this. It depends on what the Cresselia's moveset is. Psychic will be a 2 KO on Gyarados, which is the problem. I think I have to call... I feel like Waterfall should knock out Charizard. I'm just going to Psyshock the Cresselia in case Charizard protects here. I don't know if he protect here or not, but I'm going to Waterfall the Charizard because if I can knock out the Charizard, I can Dragon Dance on the last turn and then Supersonic Sky Strike the Cresselia. As it just Ice Beams, perfect. Gonna finish out my Latios. Okay. So I need Waterfall to knock out the Charizard right here. Which it should, I think, because that Psyshock did a lot more than I thought. Okay, we're still in this. Get rid of Charizard. Now I need to Dragon Dance on this last turn. Trick Room wears out. I can go for Supersonic Sky Strike. If my opponent wants to Moonlight, that's fine because I can Waterfall into Supersonic Sky Strike. You can't freeze me, I think. I think the only way you could crit Psychic. Or if you have Charge Beam randomly. Or HP Electric. Ice Beam, fine. Oh, I don't know Supersonic Sky Strike because of the knockout, which is the question. Because I really want to Waterfall into Supersonic Sky Strike. If you're... I don't know how much Supersonic Sky Strike does. If it's a really defensive Cresselia, which we haven't seen at all. We haven't seen like what this Cresselia can take. I think I have to risk a roll with Ice Beam. If it is Ice Beam. If it's Psychic, it just loses me, and I should have went for Supersonic Sky Strike. Okay, it's Ice Beam. Okay, I think Supersonic Sky Strike picks up the knockout. Don't be Protect Cresselia. And of course, I didn't want to Protect, and then my opponent going for Trick Room because I would auto lose. Waterfall also gave me a chance to flinch, which is why I went for it. Supersonic Sky Strike. Come on, Gyarados. Oh man, these matches have been coming down to the wire recently. That's not fun. Supersonic Sky Strike from Gyarados. Does this pick up the knockout? That's the question. It's +1. Come on. Oh, okay. Okay. Of course, I did risk like a crit or something, or my opponent actually having Psychic, but I feel like if he had Psychic, he would have went for it earlier because it would be a guaranteed 2 KO instead of going for Ice Beam, which has no chance to freeze. So that's my thought process. He didn't have Psychic. Ice Beam looked like a roll there, and by the damage, it didn't. I felt like as long as that wasn't the lowest roll, and then my opponent gets the highest roll, I should be able to win because Waterfall should guarantee I get Supersonic Sky Strike, and if not, I always had the Waterfall chance to flinch. Oh, so that was a really hard fought game. The freeze on Bulu kind of stinked because it allowed my opponent to basically just get 1 free turn. Of course, my opponent could have just Ice Beamed the Bulu the following turn, but like that was just like, I don't know. I feel like Latios would have been a bit healthier. Well, I guess it didn't really matter. It really didn't matter too much, I guess. It just allowed Latios to get Ice Beam damage on Latios. but Ice Beam plus Heat Wave didn't knock out. So luckily it didn't really too big of a deal. Gyarados was able to pull through. It could have been a different game if Charizard didn't protect, but basically I had to bank off it not protecting because there were too many turns to trick him to stall out, unless maybe I got a double or something. But yeah, I felt like that was my best odds to win. There was Waterfall there. Hope my opponent goes for like Heat Wave and Ice Beam, trying to pick up, you know, as much damage as possible before Trick Room ends. So maybe tries to avoid like a Waterfall flinch end game potentially. So I was able to Waterfall knock out the Charizard, Dragon Dance on the right turn, and then can Supersonic Sky Strike that Cresselia. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in today's episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. Shows the support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below. My social medias, all that good stuff will be linked in the description down below. You can check out my side tiers on the channel, including Johto X Alola, which is currently going on. And you can feel free to try out the pace spin of this team. Again, as I said, it's a really difficult team, but if you want to go give it a try, I highly encourage doing so because it's always interesting to try out different team archetypes. But otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. I will catch you around in another video.